2016 has been another year of delays in video games that have been pushed onto a 2017 and beyond, so that led me to thinking of making my top 10 most anticipated video games of 2017.
10.
The number 10 is Mass Effect Andromeda, and this is a weird one to enter the list because I'm not really a Mass Effect fan. Mass Effect is a series I've literally started a week ago after being badgered by my friend to be playing it for such a long time, and I've finally given it a go, and one thing that's really got me is the lore of the game and how really rich and diverse this series really is when it comes down to its universe, and that's something I've really enjoyed exploring in the limited time that I played of the very first Mass Effect. And the reason why I'm looking forward to Andromeda is because it's not really a true sequel. In a way, it's kind of like a reboot in a new sense that, yes, we're going to have tie-ins to the old galaxy and things like that, but it is kind of starting out afresh, and it looks like it's going to be a really good place for me to get a gateway into this franchise that I've really been wanting to give a go for quite a bit of a time now. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting into Mass Effect Andromeda and definitely seeing how the new mechanics can let me really kind of enjoy the experience, because that's something that's kind of held me back a lot of the way with the first game, is that I can't get into it so much because the mechanics, especially when it comes to combat, is poor. That's definitely the best way to kind of say it, that it is poor. Like, it's definitely dated and we've moved on from those mechanics, and I'm looking forward to Andromeda to really give it a go, because the new mechanics that got into the game is the modern kind of style gameplay, yet still having this rich lore, in-depth story to it. It's something that I could probably really enjoy, so I'm definitely looking towards Mass Effect for something to spend a lot of time with, especially when it's coming, in Q1 and Q2 of next year.
9.
At number 9 is Horizon Zero Dawn, which is another open world game on the list, and open world games haven't exactly had the best year in 2016, as there really isn't many that have done well. Mafia 3 didn't do too great. I think the only one that you could probably say did really well was I Am Setsuna, especially in my eyes, and the reason for that is being because maybe people are getting a little bit stale of the genre, and a lot of open world games did come out in 2015, so maybe you could say that 2016 was maybe kind of like a year off from open world games, as really Watch Dogs was kind of only another one that can really come into mind right now. But next year, we've got a few down the line. I'm looking forward to Horizon, because I do like the genre of open world games and definitely do really enjoy, getting into a world, especially something with a new IP, and really giving it a go. And I also think that, the combat looks cool. I really love the theme of the game. It definitely looks interesting to me. This idea, being post-apocalyptic, but still high-tech, robots kind of roaming around that, you can fight against and things like that. It definitely looks like a game that, again, I could spend a lot of time with, a game that I can tick boxes and, go around collecting items and things like that. But also it looks like it's got a real good lore to the game as well, of people who, have seen the game behind the scenes or played the game, so that there's a lot of cryptic messages and a lot of a mystery surrounding the game that we're going to find out and uncover as we're playing it. So that's something that is right up my alley, to jump into and definitely see how that is paced, along with other stuff of the game. Like, even if we go off the chosen track and kind of go off the limits and maybe look into side quests or just exploring, or doing like the kind of Far Cry elements of the game and just literally checking up on other creatures, stuff like that, is we going to still find elements of that mystery going around the world? Because if it is, then that's a big positive in my book. If I can still get areas of the story when not doing areas of the story itself, it's something that I'm really interested in, because other open world games, even ones that are as good as The Witcher, haven't quite mastered that yet, and a lot of people are saying that's something that Horizon Zero Dawn does well, and I want to see that in action, to be honest, because it's something that I think the open world genre can generally improve in. And if Guerilla Games have found a way to do it with Horizon, then that's all well and good. And also I'm really intrigued to see how strong the story actually is. Is it just going to be cannon fodder, just general run-of-the-mill story, just like a general rebellion that you end up winning in the end, or is it going to have really lively twists and turns like a game like Red Dead Redemption did? What's it going to be like? Which I'm looking forward to seeing. The combat of the game looks kind of interesting, picking elements of a robot to fight against and stuff like that. It's a game that I'm more intrigued by than I am that I'm like dead eager to play like some of the other games on this list. It's a game that I'm just looking to see how well it does in sales, and really how well it does some of the mechanics that people are saying that it's done well in preview events.
8.
At number 8, it's Ghost Recon Wildlands, and you might be thinking, okay, this is a weird game to have on your list, not exactly strong lore, you've not even got a single player, it's just more of a multiplayer heist game, and that's kind of the reason why, because this game looks like it's GTA 5 heist, but done right, done really, really strongly, and a lot of people probably saw that, that really acted upon piece of gameplay on stage, you got the squad playing through a level of Ghost Recon Wildlands is kind of a little bit, poor to kind of watch and a bit boring to see. But I was kind of watching that thinking, there's so many different alternative routes to go down. Playing with a group of friends looks like a really fun game to have, and the group of friends that I've got, that I play games with, definitely we're definitely looking at Ghost Recon Wildlands to go into and really have a good time with, because it looks like one of the kind of games that even if the game is bad in mechanics, you can still make it fun for yourself, which is a real safe bet, because it is a PvE game, co-op game where you're playing with your friends and taking out enemies, which is a lot of fun. The heists in GTA are really, really good. It's just the basic elements of them, like deaths and things like that, which are going to happen a lot in these games, just kind of get left in the dust. Whereas with Ghost Recon Wildlands, it looks like it's going to be a much better system, which is really good, and I'm definitely interested to see how the heist kind of develop around it. Is it literally just going to be the same mission over and over and over again, or they're going to have diversity to them like the GTA 5 heist did? But it definitely looks like a game which I could be having a lot of fun with when I'm playing with other people, because that generally does look like the strength of the game, just a map covered with areas to take out, rooms to kind of delve in and get a lot of criminals in those areas. But when you're playing on your own, you're trying to understand the story and trying to just, get lost in the game. It doesn't look like one of those games to me. So it just looks like a game I'll just be playing co-op with my friends, and it's something that I probably will be really enjoying my time with, even if the game is terrible, because it has got that online element, which I know I will enjoy.
Seven.
Downtown Detroit. Details are still emerging on what exactly happened. But the hostage taker could be the family's android. Negotiator on site.
At number 7 is Detroit Become Human, which is David Cage's new game, and this one is kind of on the list as a long shot, along with one more on here, of being released in 2017. Like, I don't honestly believe that Detroit will be released in 2017, but it just says that on its wiki page and on, the Giant Bomb game page, so I thought, what, I'll just put it on the list just in case. But the reason why I'm interested in this game is because, first of all, I'm a big fan of mystery. I love games where, you are solving a mystery in video games. So I'm definitely looking at Detroit Become Human to really kind of give me that, as it does look like, you're playing a cop in this kind of Neo-Tokyo kind of style world, which looks really interesting, and with a lot of choices and dialogue options, which again is right up my alley. I love games like Until Dawn, Life is Strange, some of the Telltale games, for instance. So I'm definitely looking at Detroit, to kind of give me that experience. And also, David Cage's games are fucking insane. They're wacky as shit. We don't know what the fuck's going on half the time, and I love that feeling. I love that feeling of, being confused and figuring out as you go along. So I'm definitely looking at Detroit to kind of give me that experience, and after a very, very positive trailer and what they showed off at the Sony conference in E3, that got me kind of more and more excited as, as the game that, the little bits of details that I'm hearing about it more and more often. I'm kind of looking at that game to kind of really get a good experience out of it, because it looks like something again that I would enjoy, and that's really what these games on these lists are, something I'd really enjoy. And it looks like a solid mystery, because David Cage's games, the endings of them have kind of been, it kind of been like a funnel. You make all these choices at the beginning, but it ends up narrowing down to this one point. Whereas the amount of options, and what people have said, from that company, what people have played as, seeing, the dialogue tree and possible choices that could reflect from that from people that have said at preview events, is that there is really a hell of a lot of options in this game, which could lead to multiple endings. So I'm definitely interested to see where this, the mystery is going to go, and how it's going to really pay out, and how it's going to be told to the player as well, which is going to be really cool.
6.
And number 6 is Red Dead Redemption 2, which is probably going to be making the majority of the players' lists on there when you watch over 2016 and most anticipated games, or 2017 and most anticipated games. So I'm definitely interested in Red Dead Redemption 2, because I'm such a big fan of RDR1 that I think that Red Dead Redemption 2, it could really be, definitely one of the biggest games of 2017, but one of my favorite games of 2017 as well. Especially if it is going to be, showing the twists and turns of the old gang, of John Marston's old gang. I'm really interested to see more about this game as well, in updates and news that's going to come out soon, when it comes down to you know, who are we going to be playing as first off? Is it going to be Marston, you know, is it going to be someone else? And the trailer looks beautiful as well, especially the way that they kind of hinted at wildlife and new ways that we can collect animals and stuff like that and really use the wildlife of the game. Looks like an interesting way. Hopefully it'll be an on-the-side thing, which I'm pretty much 100% sure that it is going to be, because, you know, it looks like it's just going to be a side activity. I love, you know, the state of the world that it's in as well, that it is actually going to be around about 30-40 years prior to when Red Dead Redemption 1 came out. So I'm really interested to see, you know, how different the worlds are, you know, especially when it comes down to technology, and see how that comes along, and, you know, the train line and things like that, and really see where, you know, what state the world's in, and maybe see some of the events of that leaked map, of some of the events that happened that we saw in Red Dead Redemption 1. You know, some say, like, you know, the old collapsed, you know, cargo ship at, you know, the edge of the map in the marshes. Will we see that crash? Will we be able to play through that as a quest and things like that? You know, so I'm definitely interested to see, you know, what's going to be going down, you know, with what we're going to be playing in Red Dead Redemption 2. I think the name is boring. You know, they could have picked a different name. You know, we had Red Dead Revolver, then Red Dead Redemption, and now Red Dead Redemption 2. It didn't exactly work well. Are they just kind of discounting Red Dead Revolver? You know, who knows? But, you know, hopefully we'll see more about the game, you know, in the coming year, and definitely, I'm looking forward to giving it a chance to play it.
5.
On number 5 is Kingdom Come Deliverance, and this might be a game where a lot of you are raising your eyebrows at, but Kingdom Come Deliverance is going to be kind of like a medieval, historically accurate first-person RPG, which is game set in Bohemia, in, I think it's the 13th century. You're going to have to, if I'm wrong, you can please correct me on that, but Kingdom Come Deliverance promises to be, you know, historically accurate, you know, proper combat. It looks beautiful in the alpha footage that they've shown, and a game that really, you know, has got a story, and, you know, I'm looking forward to finding out the history of Bohemia, because it's not something that I've not really looked into that much, but it's something that I'm definitely willing to learn more and more about, and hopefully this game can kind of give me, you know, kind of like a gateway into doing that. And Kingdom Come Deliverance really is a game that maybe not a lot of you have heard of, from Warhorse Studios. I'm really looking forward to it, you know, to see, you know, like a historically accurate open world game, because we've not really had one that's come into my opinion anyway. If we have, not really a good one, and this one looks to me like it's promising. You know, it looks to me like I'm definitely willing to give this game a go. Is it going to be, though, like a thing like what are the quests going to entail? Like, that's something that I'm kind of thinking about. You know, is it going to be farming? Is it going to be general basic stuff, or is it going to be taking down towns with bandits? Is it going to be defending towns maybe with the Bohemian army? We'll have to see about that. But of what they've shown in alpha gameplay and things like that, it looks like a game that I could really lose myself in and really get to grips with the world that it's in, and really find out a lot more about what's happening with it. Because Kingdom Come Deliverance, you know, we have medieval fantasy games I'm a big fan of, but not ones, I have not really seen many where magic isn't an element. So I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing how that's going to play out. So Kingdom Come Deliverance, a lot of you should check it out, especially if you're a fan of that, you know, the medieval fantasy side of, you know, the Elder Scrolls series. You know, go ahead and look up Kingdom Come Deliverance, because it might be a game which you could spend a lot of time with.
4.
Here goes!
And number 4, it's Cuphead, and Cuphead is a game that you probably heard about a while ago and then forgot about it, because that's kind of what's happened with most people. When it was revealed at E3 2015 at the Microsoft press conference, and then it was shown there and kind of got a lot of discussion about it, and I was able to play the game at EGX that year, had a lot of fun with it, and definitely, you know, was very excited to give it a go. And Cuphead seems to be come along, you know, really nicely. You know, apparently they've gone back to actually flesh that game out more after seeing the hype that it got. You know, build a lot on some of the elements about it, not just be boss battles, but actually have, you know, a bit more of a world to it, a bit more quests and stuff like that. I love the art style of the game. Definitely something to get me into, and plus it's got a co-op element as well, where me and my friend can actually give it a go together and kind of go through bosses and take out the levels of the game and things like that. And it looks like to me a game which, you know, could be one of those quick experiences, you know, a 6 to 8 hour experience, which I would really, really enjoy. I've been looking forward to this game for a long time. It was actually I think it was one of my most anticipated games of 2016. I think it could have been 2 or 3, so it's still high up in the list. I haven't lost interest in this game at all. If anything, hearing about them going away and, you know, fleshing the game out more has got me really pumped for it, because I was very interested in the mechanics of the game when we played it at EGX, and definitely interested in seeing, you know, what that game can possibly become, you know, especially new gameplay. But it is promised to come out in Q3 of 2017, so hopefully we'll find out soon. And it's a game that I'll probably be getting, you know, playing multiple times of, you know, seeing the different mechanics and maybe the different routes of being able to go on boss battles, or is it going to be the kind of game where, you know, there's just this list of bosses that we've got to take out, but it's not by the sounds of things, it's not going to be, because they've gone back and fleshed it out. We're going to have to see about that, but I'm definitely interested to see, you know, how it's going to turn out and how it's going to sell, because, you know, we haven't really got a lot of Cuphead news this year, to be honest with you. I haven't really seen any new gameplay this year. We got some stuff from IGN in January, but we'd have to see, you know, how it's going to pay out for people, and if it could be a game where it's mentioned again and people will get reminded, oh yeah, that game, and then go and look at it again. We'll have to see.
3.
People see me and think they're safer. But it's not really me they're seeing.
Okay, this game, Spider-Man, is another game which I think is not going to come out in 2017. I think this is going to be a fall 2018 game, so I think it's going to be delayed multiple times before the game comes out, because it does seem to be fairly new stuff of what we saw E3 with Sony, at the Sony press conference. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers for this game to come out this year, but I'm putting it on the list anyway because, again, it's another situation where it says it's going to be coming out 2017 apparently. But Spider-Man, to me, is one of my favourite superheroes. You know, I'm a big fan of superheroes, and, you know, as most of you know who listen to the podcast, I'm a huge fucking Superman fan. I love Superman. And Spider-Man is in the top 3 superheroes, you know, along with Batman and Superman, as you said. So Spider-Man is a game which I'm very much looking forward to kind of giving a go. And I think he is one of the easier superheroes to make a video game out of, especially, well, I think he probably is the second. He's probably behind Batman. We have some great Batman games, and we've already had some great Spider-Man games, like Spider-Man 2, even Spider-Man 3 I really enjoy, which is not a very popular opinion, but I love Spider-Man 3. I know that it was really not done a good job with Activision, because I don't think it was really given the care it needed to make great games. It was more annualized to try and make profit out of. Whereas with Spider-Man, you know, it looks like Insomniac are a studio that take pride and care in the work, and Sony will probably be giving them all the time they need to make the best game that they can come up with. And I'm very interested to see, you know, what that game can turn out to be, because I'm really, really interested in seeing more of Spider-Man, especially, you know, with it going back to Marvel in the film series and stuff like that. But I think he could have, you know, really, really good gameplay, especially when it comes to fights, you know, using the web, you know, it's got to have that feeling of it feeling good when going around the city. And I think the Spider-Man Insomniac game could do that, and I think the trailer gave me a lot of good anticipation, especially some of that, the kind of gameplay going into cutscenes thing, which I'm guessing is gameplay when seeing it. But I think Spider-Man could do it, especially from it's a studio that, you know, that nailed Sunset Overdrive, nailed Ratchet and Clank, and then come into a franchise like Spider-Man, which is, you know, got that fun-loving, you know, funny elements, you know, to it, and I think they can do a great job with that. And I think it is the right studio to do it, especially, you know, there was a lot of rumours of Sucker Punch doing it, which I think would have been another great studio to do a Spider-Man game, but I think Insomniac, I was better with that news, and, you know, I was happy with that news.
2.
Okay, before you go into your comments, I know Uncharted Lost Legacy is a DLC, and I know it's a standalone DLC, but I had to put this on the list. As an Uncharted fan, I owed it to myself to put this on the list, because it is one of the most exciting things I'm looking for next year. I'm so down for more Uncharted. Uncharted is in my top 3 franchises, definitely, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. I love Uncharted 4 is my top game of this year, of 2016, and I'm definitely urging for more, especially, you know, from a character, Chloe, who was an omission from Uncharted 4, you know, such a main part of Uncharted 2 and in the early stages of Uncharted 3. I definitely want to know more of her story, and seeing her cross paths with Nadine screams cool to me. You know, I love Nadine as a character in Uncharted 4. I think she was a fantastic addition, and I think she really stood on her own as a character, and seeing her kind of combine with Chloe and getting some fucking girl power in there, bitch, yeah. I'm definitely down to see more, and it's going to be the first playable character that we're going to play other than Nathan Drake, which is really, really cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to Uncharted Lost Legacy, seeing how the story's going to play out as well. Is it going to be a strong story? You know, how long is it going to be? Because apparently it's going to be longer than Left Behind, but obviously not as long as Uncharted 4, obviously. But I'm up for seeing, you know, more from the Uncharted series, especially now, you know, Drake's story's ended. You know, maybe these side stories could be something that, you know, that we look back on, you know, that we look for in the future when it comes to Uncharted. So some other characters maybe go back in Sully's past, or, you know, follow Sam or something like that. That'd be really, really cool to see, because Uncharted is such a precious franchise to me in the way they do the storytelling and narrative, and I want to see how that carries over in this standalone story for something without Nathan Drake.
I'm in the middle of something.
It can wait.
Yes, sir. Meet me inside.
Understood.
1.
And number 1 is probably a game you're going to be seeing on every single most anticipated list of 2017, and it's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And, you know, you will probably watch this video and go, Connor, you're not a Zelda fan. Why are you looking forward to this? You're not even a Nintendo fan. Like, what's the point in saying that Zelda's going to be number 1? But every bit of gameplay they've showed of that game, everything they've said about it is, you know, it's like it's been spoke directly to me. You know, bringing Zelda into this open world area, you know, saying that you can climb and look on everything that's on the map that's in front of you, reminds me kind of a little bit of Skyrim in a sense. You know, when Todd Howard gave that presentation, they went through and then he said, did you see that mountain over there? You can climb that if you wanted to. You can go anywhere that's visible in this world. And I think that's really, really cool about Zelda. The gameplay they showed at the Game Awards also got me hyped as well. You know, the combat for it looks great and really intuitive. It looks like this blend of what we know from Zelda, which I've always been intrigued by and really interested in, and what I've played have been actually really enjoyable, and of Skyrim, which is my favourite game of all time. So mending them two together looks like it's going to be a perfect fit for me. And I think it's the right fit. I think it suits each other. Skyrim and Zelda would be a great blend. And Zelda, it looks like a game that I will probably spend a shit ton of time with next year. Especially if I get a Switch, which I'm very, very interested in getting, and probably will have to get to play Zelda Breath of the Wild. As I'm completely down for giving this game a go. And playing it on the go as well. So, I mean, I could just spend so much time with this game. I'm fretting about and thinking about the amount of time I'll be spending with it. It's kind of worrying, to be honest with you. Sorry for bumping the mic, but I'm really down for, you know, giving this a go, seeing the story, seeing how organic the quests are, because that's something that really is screaming at me for more and more Skyrim. It seems like the most Skyrim-y kind of game since Skyrim, and can I say the word Skyrim more? Probably, but still, I'm down for Zelda. I'm so down. I'm hyped. Get me this game now, because it looks like it will be the perfect game for me. And mixing some Japanese elements with it as well to kind of give me something new, I'm so down for. I'm down for it, guys. Come on, please, Nintendo, give me that game. So, coming out also in March of 2017 with the Switch launch, most likely, we're going to find out more about the Switch on January 12th. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about that, the price point and everything. And that's one thing I'm really anticipating, you know, into next year, seeing how well the Switch does, and how well it's going to captivate the market, because it looks like it's going to be a hell of a ride, that damn console. So then, thanks a lot for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you also put in the list below of what you're really looking forward to next year, what are your most anticipated games of 2017. Please like the video, share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe, put on your notifications and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.